Welcome back, guys. Now, if you look at the menu we've created so far on the iPhone simulator, it looks quite cool. Okay, the width looks good, everything looks okay. Let's look at the iPad version, however. So you go to hardware, iPad, and I need to decrease the scale to 75 so it fits nicely on my screen. And start there. Still, the menu looks quite wide, as in, there's a long bar there as a button. Ideally, what I would like to happen is toggle this menu, as in switch it on and off, while still having content on the page. Just to clarify, I could fit some content here where there's an image, an article, and still have the menu on the left. Okay, so how do we do that? First, we need to hide this menu, but only for the iPad screen. And we can do that using queries, more specifically media queries. This is relatively new technology which helps us target specific devices with certain CSS styles. So we can actually develop some CSS that is only used when the iPad version of the page is loaded. Now that's pretty cool, and you will use this a lot if you're creating major projects. So let's just show you an example now. If you go back to your CSS file, don't forget that we've got an index.html and we're linking an external style sheet here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. So here's a keyword, yeah, at media. And then here I'm saying if it's screen and the width of the device is 768, which is the iPad, not the mini iPad, but the big iPad, and the orientation is portrait, then additionally add the following CSS, i.e. anything that you add in here will not be read on the iPhone, will only be read on devices with this width and is in portrait mode. So let's just see what happens when I set the display of the navigation menu to none. Yeah, okay. On. So again, this is in the portrait mode. If we refresh this, menu has disappeared. If we look at the iPhone version, it should still be there. Okay, there you go, still there. So this CSS is only called when the screen has a width of 768 and is in portrait mode. Let's go back to the iPad. So we're back in the iPad. Again, on the portrait mode, you don't see the menu, but if we change to landscape, there, the menu shows up. So like I've mentioned, a lot of times on the iPad, you wouldn't want to cover the whole screen with a menu. You could either have the menu on the left side, or, even better, have a button that pulls down the menu when you're in the portrait mode. And now, actually, we're going to do this later. We're going to add a button here that toggles the menu, i.e. switch it on or off. Let's add another media query to deal with the page when it's in landscape mode. So just copy this, or sorry, just copy the first line there, paste it. Let me just drag that up so you can see. And instead of portrait, type landscape. Right. So if the same device, as in the media device, has a width of 768 pixels, but it's in landscape orientation and not portrait, then do the following. I mean, this time we're going to set the display of the navigation element to block. And also the width to 250. Because if you go back to the iPhone simulator, now I've got it in landscape mode, you can see the menu doesn't look that attractive, i.e. the navigation buttons are just long bars across the screen. If we have these buttons more like on the left side of the screen, that would make it look better and also allow us to put content on the right side. So if we just refresh the page for it to pick up our changes here that we've added here, there you go. It would look nicer, however, if we added a border to separate the menu from the content and also a background color. So let's do that now. Just go and copy and paste that. You can pause your screens if you want to copy what you see here. Refresh. We've still got a problem here with the margins. Okay, so let's just fix that. So what you need to do is add the following CSS. So whenever the first H2 tag is encountered, set the top margin to 0. So there, now we've actually separated our content from our menu here, and as you can see, look much nicer. The menu looks more attractive, looks more professional. If you change it to portrait, you notice the menu disappears. We're going to fix that in our next tutorial. So we're just going to add a button here which shows a menu when the user clicks on it.